I strongly debated whether or not I would even watch the Oscars this year. When I heard that a guy named Dylan Marone was having an event based on his YouTube series, which I definitely suggest you check out, every single word, where he basically takes some really popular blockbuster films or popular films and cuts out every word, makes a supercut of every word a person of color has spoken in those movies. That was a really cool event to go to, and I thought that would be a really good way to kind of get around my trepidation on watching the Oscars. My feelings on the Oscars overall are very mixed. I'm mainly gonna focus on Chris Rock's opening monologue because I think that's most of where the big points were made. Chris Rock was in a tough position. Like, I do not envy that position he was in, where there's all this controversy and then everyone's expecting you to be like super funny and you know, really stick it to Hollywood. My main disappointment is that the hashtag was not hashtag Oscars not so black. Hashtag Oscars needs more black people. That was not the hashtag. It was Oscars so white. And it was just really frustrating that during this opening monologue and throughout the show even, it really perpetuated this idea that instead of talking about representation for marginalized groups in general, it was more so made to seem as just like black people all of a sudden were just complaining. And I've seen this in the media in the weeks leading up to the Oscars, just that kind of narrative that it's just random black people, random black celebrities complaining, like Jada Pinkett Smith and Spike Lee. It's like almost like he couldn't decide if he felt like the controversy was stupid and meaningful at the same time, and that was clear. But then in some regards, there were really some hard-hitting shots at Hollywood. I did like what he said about sorority racism. I think that's a very true explanation. I do think that he hit some of the points, but I felt like the points that he hit were very digestible for certain viewers. Okay, one thing that really irritated me, and it's a sentiment that irritates me regardless of his opening monologue, but he also says it. It's this notion that black people in the past didn't care about what was going on with the Oscars. As human beings, we can care about more than one thing. We can care about entertainment and the way we're represented, and we can also care about the social issues that are going on in our community. It's really silly to me, and it's also kind of not true. A lot of people don't know that Martin Luther King had convinced the woman who played Uhura in the original Star Trek series to stay in her role because her role was so influential. I don't know how much higher you can get than Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement, who everyone loves to refer to. And if he understood that representation was important, I doubt that there would be this argument. Comedy is subjective and everyone finds different things funny, so I completely understand that. But the part about making it seem just like it's a black and white thing and black people are complaining and not really a whole inclusive conversation about representation was frustrating to me. And the idea that black people should be more worried about other things. Other highlights outside of the opening monologue that Chris Rock gave was some of the jokes that fell all the way flat, specifically the Stacey Dash joke. It's funny to see how different people react to different things. The audience I was watching the Oscars with, when Stacey Dash came on stage, it erupted. But it was hilarious that you could tell that no one in the Oscars audience knew why she was there. Further explaining her irrelevance. The really awkward, like, I mean, you know, we knew this was gonna happen, especially last year. They did the same thing where there was all these minority presenters. I feel like this year it was even more awkward because they made sure, like, it was always one black person and one white person. I just felt like that was so corny. Oh, the horrible joke, the Price Waterhouse joke where they have the cute kids. I don't know, I guess that's some type of Asian joke. Like, nah, that's really whack. Yeah, the Oscars, I don't come to expect too much from them. I am happy that Brie Larson won for Room. I was very happy that Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar. That was so great. I was happy that Mad Max won so many awards. That was a great film. Real big upset that Stallone didn't win for supporting actor. I haven't seen Bridge of Spies, but I guess congrats to that guy, Mark Rylance. I think Chris Rock is really funny, and there were some things that were funny. I'm glad that he brought back the going to ask people what movies that they were watching. Even though I have seen quite a few of the films that were nominated. I didn't see all of them, but I did see a few of them. Final thoughts on the Oscars. It was boring. It was long. Chris Rock did okay. You know, he was in a tough spot, and I get that. I am curious to see how the changes that they're making with the Academy and the voting change things or don't change things. Well, we'll have to see next year how who's voted for. I know that right now the film Birth of a Nation is getting a lot of Oscar buzz, and I'm kind of excited for that. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I know that's a movie about Nat Turner, which I've been wanting to see for a very long time. All this Oscar talk has made me want to review one of my favorite films, Hollywood Shuffle. So I might go back and rewatch that and have a discussion about that film because I love it. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll be back next time. Bye.